Hey, how's it, everybody? 11 a.m. on a Monday morning, one of the greatest Mondays ever. It is June the 8th. So just want to go live this morning. I was supposed to have a special guest on here this morning, and he emergency came up that he had to attend to. Phenomenal guy, the Doctor of Intsurance, but I will bring him on again. I will bring him on pretty soon. So I thought we can just chat about a few things that we were going to be chatting about. And anyway, what I do want to say is to everybody, how's it and welcome. Welcome to another phenomenal week. I wonder, do we get excited in the weekends and say, I can't wait for Monday to come. I cannot wait for Monday to come. I just want Monday to happen. Why? Why do I want Monday to happen? Well, because we should be getting excited about the stuff we do. And you see, last week I posted something what Steve Jobs says. Basically, he said that if we want to be successful, if we want to achieve a lot in work, we've got to start doing what we love doing. We've got to start doing what we love doing. And as we know that no matter what industry you're in, no matter what job you're in, no matter what job you've got, no matter what career, there's always going to be things that we don't like doing, right? But what I've learned is that if we focus on the things that we do love doing and we find out how can we do more of the things that we love doing, we're going to be more successful. So there's certain things that I'm really passionate about, right? I love creating content. I love putting programs together. I love writing things down so I can help other people. And I always start off with, what are they struggling with and what solutions do I have to give? That's what I normally do. I see there's one comment. Let me pull up the comments here. Beverly the Toy, my awesome Bev in Cape Town, South Africa. Phenomenal human being. When you arrived on this planet was never the same again, Bev. It was never the same again. So you're welcome to put comments in there. If you choose to, write a comment. That would be good. Thanks, Bev. You are awesome. You are awesome. You've been an incredible friend to our family and more than a friend. You're more than a friend. You are like family to us. And, the way you've touched Maria's life, the way you touched my mom's life, my dad's life, all of our lives, you keep on touching our lives. So thank you, Bev. Love. So Bev, I was supposed to have a special guest on here this morning, and he had an emergency issue come up, and he's got to deal with it. But I decided to cancel the live. I'm still going to do what I've got to do, and say so. So a lot of people, they hate Monday mornings, right? They hate Monday's coming. Sunday night is a school night or a work night, whatever. So, everything just changes. You see, because I'll never forget a Jewish friend of mine years ago said to me, Kurt, he asked me a question, what time does your day start? And I said, well, maybe like 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. He said, it does? And I said, yeah. And he said, no, it doesn't. Your day does not start at 6 o'clock or 5:30 in the morning. I said, well, when does it start? It starts the night before. And he began to explain to me even, the Jewish calendar and how Jewish people think. And it's really interesting. A Jewish Sabbath really starts the night before. If Saturday is a Sabbath, it starts Friday night at sunset. That's when it starts. And that's when your day really begins. Your day doesn't begin when the sun comes up. Your day actually begins when the sun goes down. Very interesting concept, right? Because the date of our calendar doesn't work like that. But if you think of it, if let's say I've got an incredible appointment at 7:30 the next morning. Hey, Tracy, at 7:30 the next morning. Let's say I've got an appointment at 7:30 the next morning, and it's a big deal, right? It's a very big deal, and I've got to be prepared for that. So I can't just arrive at 7:30. I've got to make sure I'm there at least 20 minutes early. I've got to be prepared. I've got to be dressed right. I've got to be looked the part. I've got to be internalized. I've got to be, internalized, have confidence, belief, rehearsed it a number of times, and be ready. I can't just wing it. What a lot of people do, give presentations, and whenever you meet with a client, is a presentation. If you're in a hair salon and you're cutting hair, that's a presentation. You're presenting to them your services. So what if someone says to me, Kurt, I'll tell you what, you're one of your favorite bands, Imagine Dragons is playing in LA, and I've got VIP tickets, and so after the concert, we're going to go backstage with them, and then the tickets I've got mean we're going to have dinner with them, an incredible restaurant in Beverly Hills. but the dinner's only going to be around about 11 o'clock at night. And those dinners always take a long time. So it's going to be with your favorite band, Imagine Dragons. And they are. When I heard them in Vegas, I was at a conference and more 10,000 of us went to their concert. It was an interesting concert. Let me talk about that a little bit. It's a very interesting concert. Thank you, Bev. Thank you, Tracy. It's a very interesting concert. One of the best concerts I've ever gone to. Why? Because if you look at other artists, they'll spend like $250,000 just on special effects for one night. It's crazy, right? What some of them, Lady Gaga and some people have done, the costumes and everything like that. So yeah, comes on the band Imagine Dragons. And if you ever know his story, it's very interesting. And basically what he did the whole night was just tell his story between songs. There were hardly any special effects, like just about zero. They were the effect. His words were the effect. And he started sharing about people, ending their lives, choosing to end their lives and commit suicide and different things. And little kids being, their lives being just ruined. And he shared, his story. I'll never forget that. I was in a concert with tears in my eyes with the stories he was sharing. It was one of the greatest concerts I've ever been to, and he's never hardly spent any money on special effects. And this was in Vegas, where everybody spends money on that. So if a friend of mine said, Kurt, I've got tickets for us to go to a VIP concert with Imagine Dragons, and then afterwards we'll be in the VIP back room and lounge, and then after we're going to a phenomenal restaurant in Rodeo Drive. And Kurt, that's going to be, we won't be out of there by 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, there is no ways that I'm going to go, even Imagine Dragons I love, and I can spend time with all the band members. Dan Reynolds, I am not going to be going because I've got that 7:30 appointment tomorrow. So my morning dictates the night before. My morning will dictate the night before what I'm doing. So our day starts when the sun goes down, not when the sun comes up. So that's what some of the things I just want to mention this morning, what I was thinking about. So our day starts, even the Sabbath starts on a Friday night, really. And we've got to learn from all our Jewish friends because they've got things that we don't in terms of their thinking. And if you want to be successful, consider looking at your day the night before. In fact, I like to sometimes take a long weekend every 5 to 6 weeks and take a long weekend from Thursday night to a Monday night, from a Thursday night to a Monday night, and not from a Friday morning to a Friday to a Monday or Sunday night or whatever. Take it on Thursday night. Let it start decompressing. You don't have to leave and fly out to Thursday night. You fly out to Friday morning, but start it off on a Thursday evening. Just wind it down because that's a preparation for the next day. So we were talking about this client and myself. We had great conversations last week, and we're talking about what's really happening in COVID-19. We're just about post-COVID-19 in a way that our thinking better be, and how it's affect us. And so I'm going to change some of the banners which we spoke about. I'll never forget it. He said, it's amazing what we do under pressure. It's amazing when we have deadlines and we do things under pressure. Most human beings get more things done under pressure or a so-called deadline. Now, I've had a few deadlines, we all have, but I'd actually call them lifelines, because a deadline is, if it's not done by then, it's dead. But whatever it isn't done, I want to focus on what I can do. So it's not a deadline, it's a lifeline. So when you can still call it deadline, that means that's when it's just stop and you've run out of time, or you run out of resources, energy, money, whatever the resource is, but normally time. That's a deadline, which I call a lifeline, because that's when life comes into it, where you actually achieve what you really want to achieve. But it's amazing with the so-called deadline, how human beings get more done. If you're having people around, you can clean your house like that within a half an hour, everything's done, ready. But if no one's coming around, you don't have a deadline, people don't clean it up, or it takes longer, or next week, or tomorrow. But when you have a deadline, or a Lifeline, you can clean your house up in an hour. From the kitchen being perfect, the bathrooms, vacuum, or sweep the floors or whatever, clean the floors, whatever, because that's what deadlines do. But that's what really Lifelines do, because it brings life into you. A good deadline will bring a lifeline, right? And with COVID-19, I've tried to get people to do video conferencing for such a long time. People just wouldn't do it. In fact, I didn't get on many calls today. Most of my calls are Zoom calls where I can see them and they can see me. And I do that for a number of reasons. Most of my sales calls are where we can see each other. But a lot of people never wanted to do it. And then suddenly COVID-19 came and they couldn't get together with their clients. They couldn't have their meetings they had to have, and they had to bring money in, or they had to meet somehow. So people started doing video conferencing. And video conferencing has really taken off in a massive, massive way. This client said something interesting to me the other day. And this is what he said. We don't give people enough credit for what they do under pressure. We don't give enough people credit for what they do under pressure. And he made that statement. And I was like blown away. I was blown away with it, right? Making that statement. We don't give people enough credit for what they do under pressure. Thanks, babe. Yeah, this is true. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I think it's good stuff. Maybe not everyone does, but I do. So we don't give people enough credit for what they do under pressure. And I'm talking about staff who's worked for me and different people I've worked on different teams. All my supervisors that I've had in the past, companies I worked for. And it's amazing what we do under pressure. It's amazing what COVID-19 got some of us to do that we weren't doing. And I've been talking boldly about this. And my affirmations is COVID-19 is the best thing that's ever happened to me and my business. COVID-19 is the best thing that's ever happened to me and my business, ever. It's amazing when we change our affirmations. Instead of saying this is a terrible thing that's happened, only people are dying, we can't do this, we can't go out to a restaurant, we can't meet with our clients, we can't even meet with our neighbors, we can't meet in small groups, we can't go to church. Yeah, we know that. Somebody I've known for many, many, many years, over 30 years, Rodney Howard Brown. And he was arrested in Tampa, Florida for having another gathering. It was all over CNN. He was arrested. They actually eventually dropped the charges. But legally, he was wrong. Okay. And the need for people to communicate and get together, and I understand the frustration. And I made a decision that I'm going to start saying COVID-19 is the very best thing that's ever happened to me, ever. The minute I started doing that, everything changed. You see, our deadlines need to become lifelines. Our deadlines, we often see a deadline, but if you don't do it by then, it's going to die. And then suddenly we'll do anything. Like if you have a child that can't breathe or something like that, you'll do anything for your kid, anything. Or your parents going through a rough time, you do anything for them. Absolute anything. My question to you is, if you know that your so-called deadlines or pressure will cause you to do things, why don't we set up some more pressurized goals, deadlines, or lifelines in our lives? Why don't we do that on a Monday morning? By the end of the day, my deadline is that I've got to get that done. And then it'll be a lifeline. Or by the end of the week of Friday, I need to have achieved whatever outcome that you wanted and make it a lifeline. I think we don't create enough deadlines for our lives. I don't believe that we don't create enough lifelines for our life. And say, I'm just using the word deadline because most people can relate to me, but I like to call it a lifeline. So what lifelines are you setting up for yourself every single day, every single week, every single month, every single quarter? And then give yourself credit, because I don't, like this client said of mine, he's a phenomenal guy. He's actually he owns his own company. He's a phenomenal marketer. He's got a phenomenal client base, and he treats people really well. And he's got phenomenal principles in his life, great character, and he lives by them. But he said, we don't give, and look, he employs people, right? He employs a lot of people. So he says, we don't give people enough credit for what they do under pressure. man, like I've never heard a statement like that in my life before. It's the same thing as stress. Okay, we see stress as a negative and bad thing. Is it? I'm drinking some peach tea here this morning. What does that say? Best day ever. Is that backwards on your screen? Is that the right way? Best day ever. Make a comment. Guys, make comments down there and tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. This is Studio Transvig. This is Studio Transvig. This is my Studio Transvig, where transfiguration happens and we transfigurate people's lives. But transfigurate, I can't help anybody. I can't even help myself. So transfiguration starts with me. I transfigurate my life every single day. And that's what we all need to do. So this is Studio Transvig. And I'm live. You're live with me. And I'm doing this because I want to take my presentations, just sitting and chatting to another level. I've got a lot to learn. I've got another level that I want to go to. But write in the comments there, thanks, Bev. So write in the comments what you think about creating a lifeline. Creating a lifeline from a deadline. Okay. And creating more so-called deadlines for yourself per week. Whether it might be, there are 8 areas of our life, and you hear more of this. I'll be talking more about there are 8 areas in our life. And the first one is your spirit. That's the foundation of it, your spirit. And in my Epoch Challenge 99-day program, I talk more about that. I'm not going to talk about it now, but your spirit is one of the most powerful things. It's the foundation of who you are, is your spirit. And the second area is your mental state, which I call mind direction. You see, we don't get a mindset. If anybody says, Kurt, have a mindset, I'm like, what? You're not talking to me. Because you will never have a mindset. The only time you'll ever have a mindset is the day you're dead. The only time you'll ever have a mindset is the day you're dead. You were created by a phenomenal creator who's given you a lot of creativity. In fact, tests show, 5 years of study shows that a person who works at a computer, behind a computer all day, they switch windows 38 times per hour. 38 times per hour. They switch windows 38 times on average. They studied these people without them knowing they were studying them. And they looked at all the analytics. They were changing windows 38 times per hour. Why? Because they were created with a mind that's not set. A mind that's always looking for new information. That's why if you get CNN breaking news or any news channel, breaking news. Why? The minute I say breaking news, people want to know what happened? What happened? Because we created that we are inquisitive people, and our brain's always seeking new information, always. The fact, if your brain is not seeking new information all the time, you're probably dead. That's why some people love to gossip. Okay? Now, there are very, very few people that can keep it in a certain direction. An aircraft can't even. If you're not taking off from New York City to fly to Los Angeles, and I'm the pilot, and I put the compass on, about 270 degrees, that's supposed to head for Los Angeles from New York City. Have a good 5-hour flight. Well, if we just put it on 270 degrees, guess what? We're never going to get there. You're going to end up in Mexico or San Diego because prevailing winds are going to push you down. And you're going to keep on heading to 270, but then you keep on moving that way, 270 degrees. And you're going to be, of course. And that's what most people do. You see, because we don't get a mindset. Everyone says have a great mindset. They're lying to you. They're trying to kill you. Because the only time you're ever going to have a great mindset is the day you're dead. The first area is spirit. Second area is mindset. Third area is your emotional state. And your emotional intelligence is far more powerful than your IQ. Your EQ is far more powerful than your IQ. Because I can get people doing a lot more things with a greater EQ. What's an EQ? Your emotional quota. How you challenge your energies, your feelings in a certain direction. And that's how we need to be working with it. That's the second area. I don't know if I'm going to go through 8. I feel like it, but I'm being naughty. I'm going to stick to what we're talking about. Stick to what we are talking about in a very big way. Yes. So I want to say pressure and stress. Everyone says stress is like a bad thing. Look, an elastic band is stretched. Okay. I did a good 91 kilometer bike ride on Saturday. We had wind against us the whole way. And then we had these terrible hills to climb on the top coming back. I tell you now, my legs were fried on Saturday. I stressed out my muscles. Yep. I stretched them and stressed them out. When you stretch something, there's stress involved. But not all stress is bad. Some of the best stress we have, as long as it's channeled and rested afterwards. The problem is when people just stay stressed out, they don't rest. So rest is a massive part of having stress. If you don't want any stress anymore, you're never going to take off. An aircraft that takes off is going to have a lot of resistance, and there's going to be stress on the wings. There's going to be stress. For a plane to take off, it's got to be under stress. If a plane doesn't have stress, it ain't going to take off. When a plane's coming to land, if it doesn't have stress, you're going to have problems. You're probably not going to land the plane. You're probably going to crash it. It's going to come down like that. You're going to have phenomenal stress as it hits the ground. But taking stress and manipulating it, channeling your stress, and then resting afterwards. So stress can be a great thing. And when we put stress on us for a deadline or a lifeline, we're going to have stress. We are absolutely going to have stress. And you're meant to have stress. Well, the problem is people run away from stress and they run to comfort. We want everyone's comfort to be nice, marshmallow, little Mickey Mouse. Oh, no stress. We don't want stress. Don't let people say you mustn't have stress. You're meant to have stress. You're meant to have stress. But you need to channel it, and you've got to have rest afterwards. My muscles will only develop after a 91 kilometer bike ride if I relax a little bit. If I actually am not stressing too much. That's what's going to happen. Right? So we don't give people enough credit for what they do under pressure. And we would rather run someone down under pressure. Don't you hate it if you're under pressure, someone says, oh, calm down, relax. I hate it when someone says that to me. I don't like it. Let me be vulnerable. I hate that. Don't tell me to calm down when I've got a very purpose in my stress. Oh, calm down. You got to relax, go relax. There's sometimes I'll work for 8 days in a row without taking a day off. And then I'll take a long weekend off or whatever. So be careful of telling somebody to calm down. That might be the worst thing you could ever tell somebody is to calm down. It could be the worst thing you ever tell somebody, calm down. Calm down. Don't be in a rush to tell somebody to calm down. You better ask a lot of more questions before you tell anybody, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, parents, kids, whatever, calm down. I hate it when somebody, do you hate it? Tell me, right in there, somebody, do you hate it if you got to calm down? Do you? You got to just calm down. And maybe that's the point of time for you not to be calmed down, for you to have some stress, because that's when you imagine if I told my legs going up the mountain, hey, calm down, legs, no stress. I'm not going to get up that hill. I'm not going to get up there. So some stress is great. And let me look at this. Okay. So look what happened under COVID-19. And I'll tell you a story about State Farm. That's a massive insurance company in the United States. And it's very interesting what they did. With COVID-19, they realized that they couldn't receive their phone calls because it was going through a computer system at the office and no one could go work at the office. Man, you guys drink tea? I'm telling you now, I'm drinking a peach tea. No sugar, a little bit of milk. I mean, it looks like a little, look at it's really light colored, right? But wow, the flavor of this stuff is like something else. Try it instead of a bit of coffee, Anyway, I'm having the best day ever with my tea and talking to you guys. So, look what happened. You know what State Farm did? They had to make massive changes. They realized they could run a massive company all across the United States without using the telephone system, something like, going to say 35 million a year? 35 million? I'm like, what? You got to be kidding me. 35 million is going to save State Farm. And where they're going to find other sources. Under pressure, what do we do? How do we get the calls from our clients? How do we do this? How do we do that? They had to figure things out fast. And what they did was they came up with solutions, internet-based, and it's radically reduced their costs. They saved over $35 million a year by doing this. So COVID-19 can be the best thing that's ever happened to you. Having this stress, you see, when we've got a deadline, well, we can't go in the office tomorrow, but we've got to be operating. So what are we going to do? What about those clients who've got claims? What about this? What about that? How are we going to do that? How are we going to get new business? How are we going to, what about our appointments? Some of it's life insurance. Sometimes, whatever it is. State Farm Insurance had to make massive changes. And this friend of mine was sharing with me what they've done. It's phenomenal. Now, I remember about 5 years ago when I went to get rid of telephones in our offices, we had 17 offices then. I mean, people were laying eggs. Like, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? No phones? Yeah. Get rid of the phones. And people were laying eggs. I'll tell you what now, they were not excited. And then when I moved to another company, the first 6 months, I made a decision to get rid of the phones, and we did. And there were some agents who got really upset. I mean, really upset. And guess what? A year later, none of them even talk about it. They don't even talk about it. So when you're going to bring change, you're going to bring stress. Some people just want their own way. They want to stay in their comfort zone, what they used to you. But why? If you can save $2,000 a month for a local office on a phone system, even with 100 employees, I mean, I don't have a phone at home. I don't know if some people probably do. I don't know. I don't know of anybody anymore. Maybe one or two, especially in the United States. I don't know about having a home phone. And I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe people still do. I don't hear of anybody giving me the home phone anymore. Everyone just gives me the cell phone. I might just call them on the cell phone. But I remember when we started making that change 5 years ago, they didn't want to hear it. The CEO did. The CEO of the company loved the idea. And then we have a lot of different managers, it's all their belief systems. It's our biggest problem. I always say it's, between 6 and 8 inches. Your biggest problem is between 6 and 8 inches between your ears. It's our belief system on this. So you guys, that's what I've been talking about, and I like to keep it to a half an hour, or I'll say 33 minutes. Start at 11 o'clock. We'll be done by 11:33. So if you've got any questions you want to ask me, or you want to say something, I'm sorry the guest isn't on here today, and that's going to be recorded, of course. This is live on Facebook and also live on YouTube. It's live on both channels, so that's exciting. And some of them I'm going to keep, some of them I'm not going to keep. I'm going to save some of them, and some of them I'm going to let go. But so we're talking about, congratulate people who've done really well. We don't give enough credit to them for how they performed under pressure. So don't be scared of pressure. If you didn't like pressure, you wouldn't have water coming out your tap. You wouldn't. You wouldn't have water coming out your tap. Most cars are fuel injected right now. Injects the fuel, puts pressure on the fuel to get in. So be open. Don't tell people no pressure, no stress, because they won't be able to exercise that. They won't be able to move there. They won't have water out their tap. Be careful saying to somebody, calm down. Rather give people credit for what they've achieved under pressure. But as long as there's rest after the pressure sometime, that's it. Pressure can be too much and burst pipes. When you have places that are really, really cold and the pipes freeze, and then what happens? Pipes burst because of the pressure, because it wasn't let out. Pressure wasn't controlled. Okay. So sometimes you leave a tap dripping in cold places. Why? So it doesn't get blocked up and doesn't create unnecessary pressure. So there's still pressure, but not too much. So it's big control of the stress, pressure. But congratulate people for what they achieve under pressure. When you see people under pressure, congratulate them, encourage them. and wish them the very, very best. Because. So that's what my story is of this morning. It's Magnitude Mondays. On Mondays, I'm going to look at Magnitude Mondays, and I'll just tell you a little bit about that, why. It's going to be Magnitude Mondays, Welcome Wednesdays, and Fervent Fridays. And Magnitude Monday, why? Because in COVID-19, I realized that everybody was saying, okay, just change your goals, just take the pressure off, and I understand that, because I had to do that myself, okay, in a certain way. But what it ended up doing is that people downgraded their faith, people downgraded their hope, people downgraded their dreams, people downgraded their belief, people downgraded their confidence, people even downgraded their self-image, and people downgrade their self-esteem. Look what's happening to me. And they judge the whole world on themselves, and they thought, well, I'm making the income, so I'm terrible, I can't make it. No, relax. And what we tend to do is we downgrade our dreams because of reality. Meantime, we should upgrade our faith for what we call to do. There are people making a lot of money. Look at these people make this plexiglass. I mean, they're making millions now. I'm not saying the air companies doing. You're looking at all these disinfection companies creating all these sanitizers. They're killing it right now. So they didn't downgrade their faith. They didn't downgrade their hope. And we're trying to do that. So Magnitude Mondays is, a lot of people like coming on Monday, oh, I don't really want to be, don't want to. Hey, I'm telling you, magnify it. Magnify your Mondays. Magnitude, let it get bigger. You see, in times, you know, we tend to contract under pressure. And now is the time we've got to expand our vision, expand our thinking, Ladies and gentlemen, I've got one minute left because I have my 33-minute rule. When I'm by myself, I'm not going to talk for more than that. 33-minute rule. And there's a comment here. Let me see who the comment is. The comment is Tracy. Learning to adapt is a great way to deal with stress. Absolutely, Tracy. You know what I find also is that when you're younger, you cannot handle that amount of pressure. When you get older, you can handle a lot more pressure. I'm not saying when you're 80 years old, and I'm talking about, you know, from when you're 30 years old to like 70, I think, you know, you can handle more things. And then, you know, then things change again and you can't handle too many things. But in your 40s, 50s, 60s, we can handle a lot more pressure. You guys, it's 33 minutes. Phenomenal day to you. Phenomenal week today from the Transfig studio. Kurt Francis live. Love you all. And can you do me a favor? Can you have the greatest week that you have ever had in your life? I wish you the best.